From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Viewpoint.
And I wonder why we hold on with tears in our eyes.
He burst on the music scene in 1991 with his hit single, I Wonder Why, from his $1.5 million selling self-titled debut album, Curtis Stigers. The Boise jazzman's long hair lasted one album. His career has lasted 30 years and 13 albums, and he's still singing, songwriting, and playing the sax. Over the years, Stigers has contributed a song to the mega hit The Bodyguard movie soundtrack, co-wrote and sang the Emmy-nominated theme song for the TV show Sons of Anarchy, and performed with and opened for many music masters, including Eric Clapton, Elton John, and Bonnie Raitt. But then, the pandemic.
It's good to see you. I can't see you, but you know what I mean.
No in-person concerts for 16 months. So Stigers started live streaming songs from his kitchen to fans around the world.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
But now it's time to get out of his kitchen and back on the road and back on stage with his band. A conversation with Curtis Stigers about his career, creative connections he's made, and concerts to come. Ahead on Viewpoint. And welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Doug Petcash. Are you ready to hear live music again? More opportunities to tap your feet, clap your hands, and sing along are opening up now that pandemic restrictions have been eased. It's been a long year plus for musicians who've lost gigs and are itching to get back on stage. Boise singer, songwriter, and saxophonist Curtis Stigers is one of those. His first concerts are coming up. He'll play his smooth style of jazz and adult contemporary in Vail and Aspen, Colorado on July 8th and 9th, and then head back to his hometown of Boise for his first show here in a long time. Curtis and his band will perform at the Idaho Botanical Garden on Sunday, July 11th. The gates open at 5. The concert starts at 6. Tickets are now on sale at curtisstigers.com and the Idaho Botanical Garden's website. The show will look and sound like this. My guest today is award-winning, million-selling, world-touring, Boise-living singer-songwriter, saxophonist Curtis Stigers. Oh, and he also plays guitar. Curtis, good morning.
Good morning, Doug. Good morning. Yeah, I play guitar when it's needed. When there aren't any other any good musicians around to accompany me, I play the guitar. This pandemic has definitely improved my guitar playing considerably.
I was say you play it well. So speaking of that, how good does it feel to know you're actually going to play with your band in front of an audience very soon after all these 16 months?
It's delightful. I can't believe it. It's also a little bit. It's a bit numbing. I'm not certain what it will feel like. You know, I remember how. I know I can get out there and communicate with an audience, but it will be different than playing in my kitchen. Plus, my dogs won't be here at the show at the Botanical Gardens. You know, that's the thing I've gotten used to is playing through dogs growling and coming in and out of the pet door at the back door. It's going to be interesting to get back to being a professional musician in front of humans.
Well, how tough have the last 16 months been, not being able to tour and promote your new record, Gentlemen, and just to be not being in front of people?
It's been tough. I mean, I haven't made a penny for 16 months, and that's scary. You know, I've had a job since I started delivering the Idaho Statesman when I was in 6th grade here in Boise, and it's been strange not to have income, not to have a job. But I haven't had to get on an airplane. That's been heaven. I didn't realize how taxing 120,000 plus miles a year was on my body until I didn't have to do it. That was great. And my dogs love the pandemic. It's been nice to hang out with them. I've got to spend a lot more time with my wife. I'm not sure how she feels about that, but it's been nice for me. But it's been tough. Not as tough as for a lot of people, though. I mean, I'm lucky. I have a wife with a job. I have a house to live in. I have a nice place to hang out, or I did, during the pandemic when I couldn't be around friends and other people. So I'm very lucky.
So what can the audience at your concert at the Idaho Botanical Garden on Sunday, July 11th expect?
Well, my band's coming in from the East Coast. For several of them, I think it's at least one of the first flights they've taken in a long time. And we will play songs from all of my records. This year is the 30th anniversary of my first album. So we're taking a lot of looks back. We'll play songs that were hits for me as a pop artist, songs that were successful for me as a jazz artist as well. We like to take things that are different and put them together. I like to take Elvis Costello and turn it into a jazz song. I like to take Merle Haggard or Willie Nelson, make it into a jazz number. That song that you just played where I was playing saxophone, that's a Randy Newman song. These are guys that aren't necessarily thought of as jazz, but you can take any great song and reharmonize it and make it jazz.
So will you play us part of a song that the audience will hear coming up on the 11th?
Sure. This is a song from my very first album. It was a single that did well. I got to sing this on The Tonight Show on NBC years ago. And if you hear it now these days, you probably hear it at a wedding or a Target store. Seen a light divine. I've seen water turn to wine. I've seen healing hands and walking on the water. I've knelt in churches, but that was all just fruitless searching for something to believe in, and I thought I'd seen it all, but I never saw a miracle till, baby, I found you. I prayed I'd find my heaven, then all my prayers came true. No, I never saw a miracle. I was blind, but now I see. The miracle is the love you give to me. There's some.
That's really nice. Really, really nice. And, Curtis, you have these shows in Colorado coming up and in Boise, but you have a pretty extensive tour coming up this fall in Denmark and the UK. It's got to be exciting for you to be able to get across the pond again.
It is. That's where I do most of my touring. That's where I make most of my living, is in Europe, in Northern Europe in particular. The shows in London at the end of September and October will be a really nice sort of second homecoming for me. I spend at least 2 weeks of the year doing a residency at Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club in London, and I haven't been there in over 2 years now. So it's going to be exciting. I hope and pray that that their lockdown when it is taken off, or is out of effect, that it will stay that way. Mm-hmm. That people keep getting vaccinated and keep taking care of themselves and being smart. It'll be a good fall. It'll be a good next year if everybody does the right thing and is smart and looks out for everyone else.
Well, right from the spot where you are right now, you've been doing what you call Songs from Your Kitchen, live stream concerts every week for a while that reach fans here and internationally. I want to show a short clip, then talk about it. Let's take a look.
Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue.
So Curtis, why did you decide to do Songs from Your Kitchen?
Oh, I started the year, or the pandemic, I looked into something called Patreon, which is a thing where you make videos or recordings and people pay a kind of a monthly fee. And I did that for quite a while, for 6 or 7 months. But I realized that there was a small number of people who were getting those things that I was working on. I learned how to edit videos. I learned how to record in my house. So I decided to move away from Patreon and just start doing it on the internet. Every Wednesday, I do a show that anyone can see if they tune in. You just have to go to curtisstigers.com and it'll tell you where to click, and you can watch me do this live show for an hour every Wednesday with my dogs. You know, I mean, the dogs come in and out of frame. They're eating. We do little dog tricks. It's my chance to stay in touch with my fans and learn some new craft. I learned how to make videos this year. It's been rather good for me as an artist and as a technician, I guess. If you guys are hiring for editors, I'm really good. Apparently.
Well, let's take a look at some of your work then. I have another clip of something you did while not being able to do in-person concerts. You shot and edited this video of the song Shut-Ins. Let's take a look at this.
We'll cook a good meal. We'll read our books. We'll sit together and we'll trade those loving
Looks good. Black and white too.
Yeah, that was really fun. It was so hard. My little dog Hank, there, he's a Yorkie poo, and it was so hard to get him to. He clams up a little bit in front of a camera. I had to put that was string cheese and peanut butter on that big bone. That was the only way I could get him to eat. It's silly. I mean, I've been doing silly things in my house, you know, and people seem to like it. I have a nice little viewership, and people have enjoyed it. But that was how I managed to sell a record, or at least promote a record, my latest album, Gentleman. I did it on the internet. I couldn't go out and play it for people. I couldn't sell CDs at my gigs, so I just made videos and played live concerts right here in the kitchen.
And we do have a picture of the album cover, gentlemen, that you were talking about. And how exciting is it for you to be able to get back out on the road and start promoting this in person now?
Well, we only played 4 shows in support of this album before the pandemic started. I just started to tour and sing these songs, and suddenly I couldn't do it anymore. So it will be really nice to play some of the songs from this record. I can't really play too many of the songs from Gentleman on my guitar, so I haven't gotten a chance to sing a lot of them there. And so it'll be great to get back together with my great jazz pianist Matthew Freese and the rest of my guys and play these songs for the first time. It's almost like I'm promoting a record, a brand new record, even though it's been out for over a year now.
Even though you've been stuck in your kitchen, you've been doing a lot of work. You're actually working on a new record now. When can fans expect that to be released?
Well, it's all done. We're just working on the artwork and the cover right now. It was supposed to come out in September, which will be the official 30-year anniversary of my first album, which is mind-blowing to me that it's been 30 years. But it's the 30-year anniversary, and I had big plans to put out this record that features my new arrangements of a lot of these old songs, like I Wonder Why, like Never Saw a Miracle that you just heard, and other ones, the Sons of Anarchy theme done with my jazz band. It's all ready to go, except I really couldn't book enough gigs to support the thing this year. So just as a smart move, I think I moved it to February. So it'll come out in February. I'll have a lot of dates all over the world. Basically, once February comes around, I'm going on the road and I'm never coming home. Enjoy me now, because I have a lot of catching up to do financially and just gig-wise. It's just going to be so great to get out there. But yeah, that record will come out in February.
Okay, well, still ahead on Viewpoint, Curtis has played with famous musicians like Eric, Elton, and Bonnie. Some stories from the road next, but first, Curtis, would you please play us to break?
It's a song I wrote with my brother Jake. I've seen Houston, the streets of Rome, the Tower of London, made me want to run back home. I only want to be with you. I've known some women.
Welcome back to Viewpoint. We're catching up with award-winning singer, songwriter, saxophonist, and Boisean Curtis Stigers today as he prepares to play his first in-person concert since the coronavirus pandemic started. Now we're going to look back on his career a little bit. So Curtis, this is the 30th anniversary of the release of your hit debut album, Curtis Stigers, with hit single I Wonder Why, which reached #9 on the U.S. pop charts and #5 in the U.K. What do you remember most about that period of really being discovered by a wider audience?
It was amazing. I mean, at the time I was living in New York City, riding subways to my gigs and surviving on pizza and an occasional burrito. And then suddenly I'm on the Tonight Show. I was on, for that first album, I was on 4 times for all 4 of the singles that were released from that album. I toured all over the world. I lived the dream. I played at Dodger Stadium and Shea Stadium and Wembley Stadium with Eric Clapton and Elton John, and Bonnie Raitt was along for the Wembley Stadium gigs. I opened for Prince. I opened for Joe Cocker. I mean, there are so many amazing things. Probably standing on the stage at Wembley Stadium opening for My Heroes in front of 88,000 people. That's a big memory for me. I will never forget that.
So what was it like? What were they like? You know, you talk about meeting your heroes, playing with your heroes. How are Eric Clapton and Elton John personally?
They are lovely. They're totally different guys. Obviously, Eric is mellow, and he's the best foosball player I've ever seen. That was something I learned on the road with Eric Clapton, but very kind. He was standing outside of my dressing room door after my second show of those Wembley shows to ask me to open for him on a tour in America. I mean, terrific guy. Elton John has always been very, very good to me. He was my first hero as a musician when I was a little kid, and he knew that as I was coming out early on. I talked a lot about Elton John in interviews, and so he knew that. And since then, when he came to Boise a couple of times ago, he invited me backstage. I got to hang out with him before the show, and he actually dedicated the song Daniel to me during the concert. I was standing on the side of the stage in my hometown where I grew up loving Elton John, crying because he's singing a song for me. It was pretty amazing. I still get goosebumps just thinking about it.
You also mentioned that you opened for Prince. You told me earlier that you didn't meet him, but what did you get from being able to watch him perform every night?
Well, I didn't really want to meet him. I was just, he was such a deity. He was such a above humanity. I don't know. He seemed, I didn't want to just have him say, "Hey Curtis, how are you?" It didn't feel right. But watching him on stage from the side of the stage was a masterclass. It was, I learned so much just about stagecraft. The guy was an amazing guitarist. I mean, it's been said a million times. Perfect singer, fantastic songwriter, great dancer, but just his ability to throw a microphone up in the air, spin 3 times, play a cool guitar lick, and then the microphone lands right where he wanted it to in the guy's hand. It was stunning. And he was always on. He was always in character, even backstage. I watched him from afar, and he was always like, it was pretty cool.
The Purple Rain pose.
I didn't pick that part up, but boy, he was amazing.
And you've gotten to meet or perform with so many other big names. We've got some pictures to show. You got to meet Prince Charles for one, Tony Bennett, Seth MacFarlane, Jackson Brown, Rick Astley of Never Gonna Give You Up fame.
Yeah, Rick Astley. I did a duet of a big band chart with Rick Astley. He's a great guy.
There he is, right
Rick
there.
Very much. Oh yeah.
And so, what do you take away from?
A good night.
What do you take away from all these creative connections and experiences you've been able to have with these really creative folks?
Well, I mean, first of all, like I said, getting to watch people like Eric Clapton from the side of the stage, or Prince, or Elton John, it's a music lesson. It's a performance lesson. I'm still learning how to perform and how to create better music and to be a better musician, and that is great. The other thing is just, I grew up as a fan, just like you, just like everybody. I love meeting my heroes. It's the most fun thing about my job, besides making a living playing music, is to get to meet these people like Tony Bennett or Elton John or Eric Clapton or Bonnie Raitt. Bonnie Raitt, I've hung out several times with Bonnie Raitt when she comes here to town at the Botanical Garden. We wandered around the Botanical Garden in the afternoon before she played. It was heady. It's just she's a person. She's just like you. She just happens to be an amazing slide guitar player and the greatest singer in the world.
When you cover someone else's tune, what do you do to make it your own? Is it a conscious thing, or is it just because you're a stylist and it becomes Curtis Stigers' style?
I suppose it's both. I mean, I don't really see the point of recording a song that someone else did and doing it just like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. They've already done it the best way they could. But you can take a song. For instance, I covered a Beatles song, "I Feel Fine," which is and I thought, well, what if I made it swing? Because I'm playing jazz. And then suddenly I'm singing, "Baby's good to me, anyway, that you get it. I like to take a song and make it my own. It's obviously still an homage to the person who wrote it and who originally recorded it, but at least I've not just done a carbon copy. I just don't. There's no reason to do karaoke at this point.
Well, Curtis, I want to leave some time because in the last segment we're going to get to hear you sing the huge hit, "I Wonder Why." So first, though, would you play us to break once again?
Oh, sure. There's a song by myself and the same guy that wrote that. Glenn Ballard and I wrote this from my second album. When the snows come and the wind blows cold, will you hold me like you'll never let go? Will you kiss me so sweetly and promise you love me so? 'Cause I have wandered through the mountains, I have searched the streets below.
Well, Curtis, best wishes on your first shows in such a long time. Break a leg. I know a lot of people are anxious to see you.
I am so excited to hit the stage at the Botanical Gardens a week from Sunday on the 11th. I'm really excited. Come out. Get your ticket. Can I ask? You know what? Just come to the show.
CurtisStigers.com or the Botanical Gardens website. There you go.
Exactly.
Well, thank you for being on the show today. Thank you for being on Wake Up Idaho earlier this week. It's been great talking to you and getting to hear your music.
Thank you, Doug. It's been fun. I can't believe you get up this early every day.
I do it. I love the show.
You're a hero.
Oh, thank you. Well, hey, I'd appreciate it if you'd play us out with your hit single, "I Wonder Why."
Absolutely. Thank you. Love is a hunger that burns in my soul, but you never notice the pain. And love is an anchor that won't let me go. I reach out to hold you, but you push me away. Then you always convince me to stay. And I wonder why we hold on with tears in our eyes. And I wonder why we have to break down to make things all right. And I wonder why I can't seem to tell you goodbye. Yes, I wonder why. But I'm no angel with my selfish pride. But I love you more every day. And love is an anger builds up inside as the tears of frustration roll down my face. Why does love always have to turn out this way? And I wonder why we hold on with tears in our eyes.
And I wonder why we have to